Okay, imagine this for just a second. While you were fast asleep last night, your bank account didn't just sit there collecting digital dust. Imagine it actually analyzed global supply chain data, predicted a slight dip in tech stocks, automatically reallocated a chunk of your savings to hedge against inflation, and then optimized your tax liabilities for the quarter. And it did all of this entirely on its own, without a single human input. Pretty wild, right? Well, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're breaking down one of the most profound, literally game-changing shifts currently rewiring our global economy. We're diving deep into the algorithmic future of global finance. So if you've been wondering where wealth is actually heading and how the fundamental nature of capital is changing right under our noses, you are absolutely in the right place.
Historically, money has just been a totally passive tool. Whether it's a gold coin locked in a vault somewhere, a paper bill sitting in your pocket, or even a digital number logged on a bank's ledger, it has always required a human hand, or at least a human mind, to give it any sort of momentum. We have to tell it where to go, how to invest, and exactly when to be spent. But what actually happens when that dynamic completely flips? Like, what happens when capital itself becomes intelligent?
To wrap our heads around this, we're going to break this explainer down into 5 quick steps. The new financial era, algorithms running the market, rewiring global financial infrastructure, upgrading your everyday money, and finally, the future of value.
All right, let's kick things off with step 1, the new financial era, and what it means to move beyond digital.
So our explainer today is actually synthesizing some incredible insights directly from a 5-part series of Mint videos called How AI Will Change the Future of Money. And honestly, this isn't just theorizing about some distant sci-fi future. The source material meticulously documents a massive shift that is happening right under our feet today. It points out that trillions, yes, trillions with a T, of dollars are already migrating toward autonomous systems that learn, adapt, and execute completely without us.
Think about it like this. For the last few decades, we've basically lived entirely in the era of legacy digital money. All that really means is your bank balance is just pixels on a screen instead of paper in a wallet. It's super convenient, sure, but at the end of the day, it's still just a static database. If you want to transfer funds, you have to initiate it. And sometimes you still have to wait 3 to 5 business days for human clearinghouses to verify the whole shebang. Well, we are now aggressively moving past that into a brand new era of intelligent algorithmic money. In this environment, AI algorithms are actively processing and directing financial data using smart contracts that execute instantly based on real-time market conditions. It's kind of like the difference between pulling out a massive paper map to chart your own road trip versus sitting in a fully autonomous vehicle that navigates the traffic, adjusts the route on the fly, and drives you straight to your destination. Capital is literally becoming proactive.
Moving right along to Section 2, algorithms running the market, or what we can call the automated economy.
We are rapidly, and I mean very rapidly, leaving behind the old world of human-led traditional finance. You know those iconic movies about Wall Street? The chaotic trading floors, the frantic shouting, analysts poring over spreadsheets? That entire system is inherently bottlenecked by human biology. It's limited by how fast we can read, process info, and physically hit a button. Instead, we're entering a fully automated AI-led algorithmic environment. This new system operates completely silently in massive server farms, 24/7. It's processing millions of data points, everything from breaking news alerts to satellite imagery of crop yields in literally a fraction of a millisecond. It reacts to massive geopolitical shifts before a human trader has even had a chance to pour their first cup of morning coffee. The speed and scale here have just entirely surpassed human capability.
And just to emphasize the sheer scale of this transition that those 5 core Mint videos map out, it's frankly staggering. We aren't just talking about a couple of experimental tech funds playing around with algorithmic trades. We are talking about the very foundation of the global economy. Actually, just in the time it takes you to get through this short explainer, algorithmic systems worldwide will have executed millions of microtrades, effortlessly managing and rebalancing trillions of dollars in assets. The volume of data and the pure amount of wealth, now under the direct supervision of machine learning models, is entirely unprecedented in human history.
Which brings us to Section 3. Rewiring global financial infrastructure. Basically, the invisible engine running the show.
You really have to think of AI as the new financial plumbing. It's the invisible infrastructure that all capital flows through now. Take algorithmic global liquidity, for example. Historically, if there was a sudden market shock, central banks and human market makers had to manually step in, assess the damage, and then inject capital to make sure cash kept flowing across borders. Today, Algorithms are being built to objectively and instantly manage that liquidity, balancing cash flows across entire continents the exact millisecond a crisis is detected. Then there's automated risk assessment. The whole process of deciding who gets a mortgage or what a massive corporate merger is actually worth is fundamentally changing. These intelligent systems are gobbling up alternative data, like real-time shipping port traffic, complex supply chain trackers, even consumer sentiment on social media, to assess economic risk with a level of granular detail that entirely eliminates human fatigue and our traditional cognitive biases.
Let's pivot a bit for Section 4, upgrading your everyday money, taking this from Wall Street directly to your wallet.
Okay, so why does all this macro-level stuff matter to you and me? Well, the exact same institutional-grade systems that are managing global liquidity and corporate risk are actively trickling down to the micro level of personal consumer finance. Your everyday banking is going to get the exact same algorithmic treatment that a billion-dollar hedge fund gets. This means the dynamic interest rate on your savings account might start adjusting hourly based on macroeconomic trends. Your retirement fund won't just sit there lazily in a target date index fund. It'll actively rebalance itself daily, shielding your personal wealth from volatility using the exact same invisible engine that powers the global markets.
To really get how AI will change the future of money, just imagine a normal day in the near future. You wake up, and while you were sleeping, your algorithmic wallet noticed an unexpectedly high utility bill coming due next week. Without you lifting a single finger, it proactively moved funds from a decentralized high-yield savings account to cover it, paid the bill so you wouldn't get a late fee, and then took 50 extra bucks from your paycheck and invested it into a fractional share of a green energy stock, all just because it recognized a fleeting market dip. This is the ultimate automation of your personal budget. It's the proactive, real-time defense of your financial health. Your money literally becomes your personal tireless financial advocate.
And that brings us to our final stop, Section 5, the future of value, looking at trust and control.
So we arrive at a highly provocative crossroads. When the underlying plumbing of the whole economy is fully automated, when complex risk is entirely assessed by artificial intelligence, and when our everyday money manages itself perfectly in our personal wallets, who is actually in charge? If we just hand over the mechanics of capital to machine intelligence because, let's face it, it's faster, smarter, and way more efficient, we have to ask ourselves, in an automated economy, will humans or algorithms ultimately hold the true power of wealth? It is arguably the defining question of our new financial era. If our money finally learns to think for itself, who is really in control? Something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and stay curious.